Hey there, Jed Coburnus here from jedcoburnus.com, and this is Talk Therapy, where I just talk out loud for the first part of the day. It's 30 minutes. First 10 minutes is me versus my ego. The second 10 minutes is me with my ego, and the third 10 minutes is literally just me. So here we go, let's get into it. I'm just going to talk out loud every day. I just do this, and it is paying off massively. If you listen to yesterday's, man, I just did not want to do anything, and all of a sudden, by the time I hit 30 minutes, it's just awesome. It's just the end, right? Like, I completely flipped, and right there's my ego again. Every time I pause, that's my ego just saying, hey, don't screw up, don't screw up, don't screw up. And I think that's what, I don't know, and I love that I don't know. If anybody is wondering what that means, and I say that a lot, I say I don't know, and I'll follow it up with, and I love that I don't know, because then I'm just letting those feelings go. But talk therapy really gives me the opportunity, right there's my ego again, it gives me the opportunity to completely let go, and just talk out loud, and a lot of things come out, right? Like, a lot of things I didn't even know were in there come out. Like, it's so crazy on how fast and how easy and how deep a person can get if you just allow yourself to do that. And I've gotten so much better at just not getting to as far as get, right? But as far as just getting to that place, and it's a big deal, right? It's just a big deal to me to understand that, to get to that point. And I just talk out loud. Like, Kyle Cease taught me how to do this. If you're looking for Kyle Cease, Kyle, obviously, Cease, check him out. Go and look at what he's doing, and even 10 years from now, I bet you this is going to be completely relevant, because it is kind of trending right now in 2016 to be meditating and doing some things from your center and being authentic, and in 10 years from now it's going to evolve, and everybody's only going to get more closer to your truth versus spewing out bullshit and being quote unquote Facebook perfect, and it's not. If you're fooling anybody, you're not fooling anybody by posting stuff that's not true on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, right? Or any other social media outlet that's going to happen in 5 years. Snapchat's kind of hot right now. There's a few out there that like Nintendo just released their first social media platform. There's one called Peach. There's a whole bunch of them out there, and if you want to ask which ones are out there, go to a 13 to 18 year olds, right? Go to the 13 to 18 year olds, the ones that are just turning 13 and the ones that are just turning 18, anywhere in between. Those are the people that dictate the market as far as what apps are going to be hot. Just a suggestion, right? And I was reading that somewhere, and for some reason that really lays to my heart right now is social media. and there's so many places for it. There's so many, and everybody wants to be trending and famous, or they want to go viral, and going viral itself, right? Like, what's really crazy is that I've had this vivid dream that kind of just won't go away. I'm good with it though, because it's kind of a fun dream. It's kind of a fun vision, and all I really want to do is go back to that vision and play it out. I want to see what happens, but I'm not to that point, obviously, because you'll get that here in a minute. But this, it just is funny because I'm talking this one out, and social media and going viral and being famous, right? There's those three things that are laid in my heart pretty heavy today, and have been there for a while, and I'm bringing it here, which is awesome, because now I actually get to feel it out and see what this looks like. And right there was my ego again going, okay, don't say anything dumb, don't screw up, right? But so really this vivid dream, this vision, this understanding of mine is and right there is my hesitation, because it's so far out there in my own mind, but it really isn't, right? It really isn't, because anything could happen. Anything could happen if it's supposed to be, right? And you have to be ready for it. You have to be ready for whatever it is that your mind, your body, and your soul, and your alignment with yourself is ready for, right? Like, literally, if you're not ready and you don't know it, then you're really, really, really trying so damn hard, and you're only gonna fail. So you have to be ready for it. So how do you get ready for it? Well, I mean, first you just start, right? Like, you just start. I would suggest you talk to my guy Larry Hockman, and he can help you on, there's his 5 steps through the T3 method, and he really, really helps you be ready for whatever it is that you are meant to do in your life, right? Like, you just have to be ready for it. So anyway, so let's get back to this vision, right? So this vision, it seems really far out there, and it's kind of fun to talk about. And it's not that far off, right? It's not far off at all. To some, you're like, oh, you're dumb, like, that's not even possible. Anything's possible. It literally is, anything's possible. Especially with the internet. So the vision is, I am sitting right next to Jimmy Fallon. I'm on his set. I'm getting interviewed, or like he's interviewing me about this book, right? This book that I wrote. I am talking about, or not marketing, not soliciting, but I just wrote it and put it out there, and you know, he's interviewing me. And the coolest part about all of this, at least in this vision, at least in my mind, at least in my body, is my wife, Jessica, is on the other side of the curtain. You know, because if you watch the show, there's always, if you're looking at the TV on the right side of his desk, there's the curtain right there, and Jessica's right behind that curtain, just watching this whole thing happen. And you know, we go through the interview. He's asking me about the book, and he's just being, you know, Jimmy Fallon, like the guy that I wouldn't imagine him being anybody else but himself. You know, the goofball himself would just to act, you know, very nice and polite and humble, and to anybody that he interviews, that he, you know, that he talks to anywhere, I would say. And he was doing his whole thing, and we're, you know, messing around, having fun, and all of a sudden we're done, and we go back, you know, back in backstage or whatever, and back behind the curtain. And he was just nice, right? And he was generally just nice and conversating with us. And, you know, Jess was hanging out with Jimmy Fallon. Like, she loves Jimmy Fallon. Like, she loves Jimmy Fallon. So, you know, that was a big deal to me to give her that, right? Like, to give her the opportunity to meet and hang out with Jimmy Fallon. And then, you know, when we were done, when he had to go, right, he went backstage, and, you know, he left or whatever, and I looked at her, and I just, in this vision, like in this dream, it happened just like this. And I look at her and be like, so what do you think? And she's just like, you can do whatever the hell you want with the camera. You can do whatever the hell you want with all of this. I just met Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. You know, and then she gave me a hug, and the crazy part is she, you know, not that I'm ever looking for a hug from Jess, but it just is like she gave me a hug, right? Like, at that point, she hugged me instead of me hugging her, and that's a big deal. That is a very, very, very big deal to me, and that was just like the icing on the cake. Like, sure, you know, I met Jimmy Fallon, which is great, but my wife gave me a hug, right? I didn't give her a hug, like, she gave me a hug, and that was a big deal. And in that vision, all of it, I think the realization is that before I really started thinking about all of this, is I've been saying to myself for so long that I don't want to be famous, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want this, and it's not that I don't want to be famous per se, like I don't need to be famous. Really, what I mean is, I guess I was, right? This is all in the past, because I'm way over this now. I didn't want to go to a restaurant and have some people come up to me and, you know, and just completely bother me, and the paparazzi and all that baloney that you see on TV, right? But I think what it is that's the perception that you see on TV. The coolest part about social media is that you actually get to see in real time what celebrities are going through. Not that I'm going to become a celebrity, right? Like, geez, it's Jed, get over yourself, right? Like, you're not going to become a celebrity. Now, duh, right? I understand that part. But it's still a story that I've told myself for so long. It literally is, right? Like, you have to be ready. You have to be ready to accept the reality of what's going to go on, you know, whatever, right? In any way. So that's what I've came to the conclusion of, is where I've been and what I'm doing. You know, if something does go viral, I'm 100% okay with it now, right? Now I am. 6 months ago, 8 months ago, no way, right? Not that I want it to go viral. And like, or not, you know, I do want it to go viral if it helps people, if it's for the right reasons, if it's for the right intentions. If it goes viral because, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Really, now that I'm thinking about it and saying out loud, it really doesn't matter what goes viral, you know, as long as I'm not even going to put stipulations on that. I don't even know why, and I love that I don't know why. I just had some insecurity about that. Really, what it comes down to is just knowing that at the end of the day, I get to do what I love. And what I love is to speak into a camera and speak into a microphone. And here I am, right? I'm just speaking from my truth. If there's one thing that I love more than my wife and my children, is speaking into my truth, speaking from my truth, speaking from my love, my heart, right? And that's right there with my ego going, don't screw up, and that's okay, right? Recognizing that and increasing your awareness of that. But the whole famous thing is just funny, because we tell ourselves our own stories, and here I am telling myself that, oh man, I don't want to go viral again, right? Like, on this day, I've come a long way, and I'm okay with anything going viral. I really am. Now I'm sitting here going, I'm 110% with anything going viral. And I think what that means is it's then opening up the doors that people will see what I'm doing, and they will be, you know, moved and touched by what I'm doing. And it's not for financial gain. I mean, there's some business aspect to it. There has to be, or else then it just becomes a hobby, right? But if there isn't any kind of business aspect to it, that's where I was at. I was like, well, I gotta just make money. Well, not really. It comes down to, I have to be sustainable, for sure. But at the same time, I have zero expectations, right? I have zero expectations for actually what I'm doing. And that, I think, is the best way to approach it, because every day that I wake up, I'm coming from a place of inspiration instead of desperation. Basically creating in a way that comes from, see right there, see that little pause right there? Then you just kind of start talking and going again, because you have to. Your ego is going to trip you up every time. So I basically wake up every day with the understanding of, I got this, right? I got this today. I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to be put out of business today. And that's okay, right? Zero expectations of anybody actually doing what I suggest. And that's my approach, because I know that at the end of today, that when the sun comes up tomorrow, I know more than the sun comes up tomorrow, that I will keep going. I will keep going with what I'm doing for myself, for my family. And if anybody else wants to join me, awesome, right? Because one thing that I've realized, even in the last probably 4 or 5 days, is that when I actually think about it, I've only worked out, and this is like the workouts of the day, right? This, when it comes down to the workouts, I don't work out all day. I only work out 15 minutes a day. But that 15 minutes is at a very high intensity. Now, there's a difference between high intensity and high impact. High intensity is just getting your heart rate up in any way possible. It can be high intensity if you want it to be, but you can do full body extensions, you can do shallow squats, you can do a plank and just hold it there for a long time. Like, it can be whatever you want it to be. Just use more oxygen. And I think that's just such a big misconception, is that if you work out really hard for a really long time, you're going to be in shape really fast. Not really. You're probably just going to overwork your body and overwork your right there's my ego, right? You're just going to overwork your body and overwork your muscles, and then you're just going to hurt, right? Your joints are going to hurt, and you're not going to feel that great. So here I'm going into, like, really into some body stuff today, which is awesome. Like, this right there is my truth, because it just makes me feel good. Like, I just know that when we move our body, we feel good. So food, right? Like, the thing is food. So if you eat good and you work out, you're going to be healthy. Not really, right? Like, there's in the fire service, I'm a volunteer firefighter. There's a thing called the fire tetrahedron, right? So it's the exact mixture of air, heat, and a combustible material that when those things happen in a perfect alignment, that's when fire happens, right? So I think that I could probably do a big blog post on fire tetrahedron and relate that to a healthy lifestyle. Because if you are eating, pretty healthy, and you're working out consistently, and your mindset is right, those three things could really make your life on fire. Like, turn your heat up to get to your center and really, 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 really help where it counts. And man alive, that's probably a pretty good idea. I'm gonna think about that more, right? Like, let's hope that sticks, because that's getting my heart rate up. Like, that's getting my breath to, I'm getting a little out of breath right there. And usually what that means is that's a good idea. Like, I need to be thinking about a blog post or something with the fire tetrahedron, and right there's my ego, right? And how it relates to everyday life, and how it can really increase your right there's the ego going, oh, don't screw up. Right there. So the fire tetrahedron can relate to your life and how to amp up your fire, how to amp up your, I don't know, and I love that I don't know. That's kind of a cool thing. That's kind of a cool idea, the fire tetrahedron. Look that up, Google that, and you'll find some pretty fascinating things about fire. And there's just so much, happening, as far as science with fire within today's day and age, and within actually the last 20 years. And I don't know, I'm kind of going on a tangent about fire, but yeah, I'm a volunteer firefighter, so that would only make sense. But that's kind of a cool revelation. I'm gonna have to think about that one more, and keep going, and keep you posted, and keep myself posted, really, to see how I can relate that to exercise, food, and mindset, right? Because between those three things, it works just like oxygen, it works just like heat, and it works just like a combustible material, which is crazy. I never put those two things together before. So as far as going viral and being famous in social media, everybody wants to go viral. All you have is one post, and you get 15 minutes of fame, or 15 seconds of fame, or whatever it is nowadays for fame. And it doesn't matter. Like, I am 100% in alignment with what I'm doing, and I keep telling my narrative of these workouts of the day, and it feels very natural. It feels very natural for me to tell people that all I did was just put a camera in front of my, in my living room, and I started recording workouts every day, and it was just part of my day, right? It was just part of the routine of my day, and that's all I do. Like, it's actually very surprising to people. And I didn't realize that either, it's very, very surprising to people that all I was doing is working out 15 minutes at most, really, at most a day. Because some of the workouts only take maybe 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, but those ones that are less in minutes are really, really, really high intensity. So be prepared for that, right? Which is kind of nuts, but that's what it comes down to, is being okay with reaching that many people, being okay with mentally being prepared, right? Like mentally being prepared for many, many, many eyes to see your videos, your blog posts, your text, your words, your heart, right? Like that is scary to some people, and it was for me for a long time. And you know, being in starting with network marketing, that's where I started all this stuff, was like network marketing. And it's not a bad business model, but if it's not yours, like if you don't own that, if you don't own your product, if it's not yours, and then somebody else can kind of pull the rug from underneath you. And not to say that, you know, network marketing is bad, because I do it too. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's, you know, it's a great way for a passive income to happen, a side income, whatever. But finding a product that you know, love, and trust comes from within, and creating that, and those workouts of the day are definitely that. And the service that I provide, which is getting to be very evident to me, that the service that I provide is the accountability piece, and if you want to call it like a professional cheerleader at that point. I'm cheering you on and selling yourself back to yourself, right? Selling you back to yourself. And that is a big deal. I can sell that all day. I don't feel like a salesman at all. I don't feel like, you know, I feel sales pitchy every now and again, because, you know, when I explain what happens in the body, like you can burn 300 to 600 more calories if you get 12 to 20 minutes within your 84 to 92% of your maximum heart rate, but it's called afterburn. And then I'm like, but wait, there's more, right? So then that feels like sales pitchy, but it's true. All of this information is scientifically proven. Like you can't unprove something that's already proven. But that's where it comes from my center, right? It completely comes from my heart. So then when I'm talking to people about the narrative of these workouts, it's just funny to me that, man, it feels so natural. Like I was trying to sell something else and this and that, and it's like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, do what you want with the blog posts, because there's PS lines and stuff like that. But really, if you're moving, if you have 365 chances, if you have 365 chances to become healthy, what are the odds? I mean, it's the law of averages, right? What are the odds that you actually commit yourself to many of those, to actually getting down to somewhat of a routine? Even if you were just going to do one, and I don't want to say just, but even if you got one exercise from the workout of the day, from the WOD, done every day. Here I'm pausing on purpose, because really I need to slow down during this part, because asking this question is important for you to really realize. And I'm talking to myself, like I'm literally talking to me right now, because there's some days where I'm just like, man, I don't even want to work out, but I do it anyway. But what if you got one exercise from the workout of the day, from the WOD, done at least once a week? Okay, let's just say once a week, and consistently, right? And you mentally committed to something, and you did it for a whole year. That's 52 times a year. Okay, so you do that. What are the odds within that year that you actually add to it, because you have found that, hey, you know what, I can do once a week? Okay, the odds are pretty good, because once you start to commit to once a week and you get about a month in, you get to those 30 days, because it's all about the 30 days, right? But science also kind of has proven that it takes about 30 days to get your patterns, to get your routine into, to ingrain it in your mind. Right there is my ego again. But really, what happens? What would happen if that happened, right? You would commit, right? And then if you get a year of once a week, and you were like, wow, I stuck with this for a whole year. And then you go the next year, right? You could go 2 times a week. Okay, so then you're up to 52 times consecutively. consistently, you chose in your mind to do something, you stuck with it for a whole year, you're up to 52, right? Then if you do another year, that's 104. Okay? That's amazing. So I think what we focus on is too much day to day and not enough year to year, right? We live too much into day to day, which is fine to live in the moment. Like, I'm completely good with that. That's actually one of the best ways to live. But if we're looking for instant gratification with exercise and eating right, you know, all of this stuff, it just takes a little 4-letter word that I like to call time. That word right there kind of pisses people off because they want the instant gratification, which is fine, right? Which is fine. You can have that in other ways like mindset, meditation, eating foods that are healthy for you, that will actually help you burn fat, doing a quick workout that makes you feel more energized, because when you first started the workout, you were sluggish and feel like crap and you didn't want to do it, but you did it anyway and you got it done, and all of a sudden you have 10 times more energy, or 1 time more energy. It doesn't matter how many times more energy, the whole point is having more energy. So when it comes down to it, you make a commitment, and whoa, a year-long commitment, watch out, that's a little too long, I don't know if I can stick with it. Well, love the fact that you don't know you can stick with it. Then let it go. Completely accept it and let it go. There's tools out there to help you do all of this. You just have to be ready for it, right? And where did I start this whole process? Where did I start today's talk therapy with? There's my ego, right? It was being ready to do this. Being ready. That's my vision from Jimmy Fallon, is just being ready to meet Jimmy Fallon, right? Now, is that going to happen? Is it far out? I don't know. And I love that I don't know. But the dude's awesome. I'm a huge fan of his. So, I mean, it could happen. It could happen tomorrow, right? We get to choose. It's all up to us on what kind of life we want to live. And that, at the end of the day, I know one thing, is God's got my back. And anything that I'm doing, if it comes straight from my heart, it's coming straight from Him. And that's a big deal to me. And I follow it. I follow my heart. And if anybody wants to defend that, if anybody wants to debate that, then bring it. Because all I'm doing is just increasing my awareness for me. And it is paying off tenfold. Because the faith that I have in myself, the faith that I have in God, outweighs any kind of negativity that anybody else could project onto me. And that is a pretty damn good feeling. It is just awesome. If you want some of that, right? Like right there, it's just a taste of it right there. Like what this whole time I'm getting, you know, it was probably in my heart at about 8 to 10 minutes. And before, it took all of 20 minutes. It took all of 20 minutes to get there. But generally now it's taken about 8 minutes, which isn't bad, right? It's not, you know, I can kind of tell, because what happens is I get short of breath and my heart starts racing. And that's okay, like I get it. That just for me gets me really excited. That means I'm excited and I'm there, right? And I'm not trying to get there. Like if you're quote unquote trying to get to wherever your heart center is, then you're never gonna get there. Because then you're get, right? You're in the state of get, and then in the state of want, then you're in the state of lack. Like, it is so crazy how that happens. But it's just amazing that I am ready. I am ready for all of this to happen. I am ready. And those words right there, I am, I can, I will, I believe. Those 8 words have the most powerful movement right there. It's ego, because I didn't know what to say. They have the most powerful impact. There it is. They have the most powerful impact on what we do. So I am Jed Coburnis. I can do everything that I say and write. I will hold my words as truth and law. I believe. So there it is. That is just an amazing talk therapy session. And I appreciate anybody who would make it to this minute right here, 29:43. You know, if you're making it right here, that means you're pretty committed. And I appreciate you. Like, I really do. Anybody who would listen to my voice for this long, woo, I gotta love you for that. So, if you know anybody who would like to hear this, feel free to share it. Feel free to share it to their wherever, to their timeline, to their Facebook, to their, I mean, anything, right? Record it on Snapchat. Just sit there and keep recording, you know, whatever. I don't know, wherever you want to put it, but go for it. And I don't know, and I love that I don't know where it would be shared, and I'm completely okay. I'm 110% okay with it. Otherwise, if you're looking for a mentor, if you're looking for a newsletter that, you know, I post a lot of what's going on and what I do with my life as far as being healthy, and I give tips, hints, and tricks and all those fun things people are saying to get them on their newsletter. I don't mean to get anybody. If you want to get on it and you want to be in my life and keep going, and I invite you into my life, and when you put your name and email in, you invite me to your life. And I am grateful for that. So if you would like to do that, head to jedcorvinus.com/newsletter. And on the other side, I'll be sending emails. And if you want to ever hit reply to those emails, you sure can. Because then that invites me into your life even more. And I appreciate that. So as always, if you're willing to change from the neck up, you will change from the neck down. And I believe in you. Now it's your turn to start believing in yourself. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Bye for now.